Even though I was born in a digital native generation, media in the online age hasn't always been accessible for me, as I was born in a time where I was just getting started. My first form of communication was my Hotmail account that my mum and I made when I was 7 years old in 2006, which I used to converse with my best friend from school and my family who live in New York using my Dell desktop. Using an email then ties in with the social interaction element of the users and gratification theory. Hotmail also ties into the Web 1.0 as a consumer was only being distributed things. For example, I would receive junk mail from websites that I would have no control over. This meant that the media was in control over how and when I would receive their information. Hotmail then upgraded itself to MSN, which was another form of communication I used from about 8 to 13, 2007 to 2012. This was key in primary school as it was a way for us to all talk to one another, and I used it less and less as I got older. Using MSN allowed me to webcam with my friends, which increased my level of social interaction. By MSN doing this was a way for this type of media to compete with other sources of interaction and to compete with other ways that users get gratification without the media. For instance, enabling the ability to webcam with one another and also message was a way to make connecting with people closer to the real thing, as you were able to see one another whilst talking, as if you were actually there talking in person. Using MSN also ties into the Web 2.0, a step up from Hotmail, as instead of being handed the media, we were able to provide and contribute information via things like statuses. This then coincides with the users and gratification theory, as it gives me the motivation to have the need to vent feelings and gain recognition. Using MSN meant that people like me were able to be exhibitionistic, which meant that I tended to focus on showing affection, expressing my feelings, and being recognized, all by the use of posting things on my status. As well as using MSN, I also signed up for Bebo in Year 5, age 9. I used it till Year 6, age 11. This was used in a very similar way to MSN in terms of the way I used it. I posted statuses for my friends to see, vented my feelings so people could then give me recognition. This relates to the users and gratification theory and David Gauntlet's Web 2.0 theory, as me as a consumer was distributing the information instead of consuming it by the media. As I got older, I began becoming an independent traveller, meaning I got a new phone in Year 6 at the age of 10 in 2009. This phone was used mainly to call my mum and text my friends on occasions. In Year 7, 2010, as technology got better, my phone usage also increased and I upgraded from a brick Nokia to a BlackBerry where I could also message friends using BlackBerry Messenger. Having a phone links in the safety section of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as it's a way of retaining communication between my mum and I, ensuring I stayed safe. As this basic need was achieved, it meant that more complex ones could be achieved, such as love and belonging, which includes friendship and family. This was achieved as having a BlackBerry and using BBM meant that I could communicate with friends and family, which would give me a sense of belonging. This would also give me the same effect as MSN, as I was able to create a status, meaning I could portray my exhibitionist traits. When I was 13, 2012, I got Facebook, which I used to further enhance my level of social interaction. I used Facebook so I could get in touch with my old friends, and this links into users and gratification theory, as research shows that people use it to socialize with new friends and to find old ones. This links into Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as it also gives me a sense of love and belonging, as I could learn about different events happening with friends, or could create my own social events and invite people to the page, and this will allow me to feel connected with friends, giving me a sense of belonging. When I was 13, I also got Snapchat, which I used to just send pictures and videos to friends, which I captioned, meaning it had an element of communication. However, as Snapchat evolved over the years, it began to allow instant messaging, phone calls, and even video calls, and this was a way for Snapchat to compete against other sources of interaction and the ways that users get satisfaction without the use of media. Like MSN using webcams, Snapchat's new features of video calling means that the users were able to feel as if they were close to the real experience, like seeing the person in real life. This therefore links to the users and gratification theory. At 16, I started using WhatsApp instead of BBM, as everyone including me found it simpler to use. This links into the user and gratification theory, as it was a way to keep and enhance my social interaction with friends and family, in turn giving me a sense of love and belonging, therefore also linking into Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At a young age, the media wasn't as advanced as it is now, meaning my entertainment and escapism came from primarily making up my own games. However, when I did entertain myself with the use of online media, it was very limited. I as a user used entertainment and escapism to keep me occupied, and this section closely links to social interaction. When playing online games, I went onto websites such as Miniclip or Girls2Games.com at about age 6 or 7 in Year 2 or 3. Playing these weren't always online, which ties into David Gauntlet's Web 1.0 theory, as I wasn't given the opportunity to do anything except the media that was distributed to me. However, Minikit began to introduce multiplayer games, meaning I could play against other users, which meant that my level of entertainment and escapism, in terms of the users and gratification theory, increased as I was beginning to interact with real people and was also sensation seeking, as being excited to play these games was a gratification reward in itself. In year 3, my mum got me my first Nintendo DS, and as I got older, I got the more developed ones, such as a Nintendo DS Lite and a Nintendo DSi. My first Nintendo did nothing except letting me play games as a solo player, which admittedly did give me some sort of escapism, as I was able to remove myself from anything I was actually doing in reality. However, entertainment can hardly progress without social interaction, so as I got the more developed Nintendos, the games began allowing me to connect with other people with the games such as Mario Kart and Bomberman. These connections weren't with people around the world, but were with people I was actually in the same room with. In some way, this would link to the safety aspect of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as this connection with people you only choose to be connected with creates a limited amount of connection, allowing me to avoid connecting with people I don't know. This would be because a Nintendo DS is aimed at people who are young children who need to have an element of safety. In year 4, aged 8 to 9, my friends and I would play each other at CBBC's Trapped game. This game included 6 friends attempting to join the same game to play against each other and compete to become the winner. This game therefore fitted into users and gratification theory, as it links with the emotional gratification aspect, intrinsic motivation. This is where I experienced a challenge, not to the point of becoming frustrated, but to the point where I felt a reward from the gratification, which inspired me to continue to play on another occasion. After begging my mum for ages to get me a Wii, she got it for me for Christmas in year 5, 2009. This Wii was used mostly for playing games as a solo player or against someone in the same room as me. However, depending on the games that I had, such as Mario Kart, I could play with other players around the world and play against them to compete to win the race. This links into the fact that I as a user use entertainment as an intrinsic motivation, as I enjoy the challenge of competing with other people and being inspired, due to the gratification reward, to continue to play. Once I got bored of my Wii, my dad got me a PlayStation 3 in year 8 at age 13 because all my friends were talking about it. Having a PS3 meant I could play more advanced story modes on a console similar to what I could do on a Wii and a Nintendo DS. However, as a PS3 is aimed at older children and adults, the way it allowed entertainment and escapism was more advanced. Unlike a Nintendo DS, the connection allowed was with people around the world anywhere and on most games, as one key element on a PS3 is to have an online account where you can add friends you know and don't know and play against someone in any game you both share. This meant that the safety was a little less controlled, but because of this, enhanced the amount of love and belonging I felt from the connections I was able to have. By playing my PS3 links into the users and gratification theory, as it allowed me to escape from routine and problems, which is considered an emotional release. Lastly, a way I currently use to achieve entertainment and escapism is by watching Netflix. Netflix taps into a range of functions for entertainment in terms of the users and gratification theory, for example, parasocial relationships, which means I can use this source of entertainment to gratify a need for social connection by becoming very attached to characters seen in series that I tend to watch, for example, Stranger Things. Not only this, but it involves me enduring vicarious experiences, which means that in order to attain escapism, I enjoy the idea of living through the characters portrayed and imagining myself in their lives by adopting characters' perspectives. Finally, escapism is a way to avoid problems faced in life and to feel as if you can have a moment where none of that exists. This is accomplished by the downward social comparison aspect of escapism, as I enjoy taking in the media that portrays people similar or worse off than me to show myself that others may have it worse. In addition to these elements, I have also used the online media to achieve personal identity in different ways. First of all, when I was younger, I used less advanced online media to achieve this goal. For example, in year 3 to year 7, aged 8 to 12, I played things like Stardoll, WeWorld, Club Penguin and Millsbury. Playing these meant I could create my own characters and make them look however I wanted. In relation to the users and gratification theory, this meant I could use this form of media to portray myself in a different light and let people see me how I wanted to be seen and not how I was actually seen in reality. As I was younger, this was a way to express myself, as at this age I didn't exactly know who I was, which meant I hadn't reached a level of esteem in terms of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. As I mentioned the fact that I wasn't exactly sure who I was, in year 8, my friend and I decided to create a YouTube account where we made one vlog. Creating a vlog meant that we would talk about ourselves and things that we enjoy doing. Doing this was a way to gain recognition and attention from other people and to then eventually receive either positive criticism, where we would feel a sense of self-esteem and confidence, or receive negative criticism so we know how to gain and improve social acceptance, which links into the esteem section of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Also, creating a YouTube account and posting vlogs links into Gauntlet's Web 2.0 theory, as we were able to post what we wanted, and this meant that we theoretically became our own producers, and through this we were able to create our own identities, as the ability and freedom that 2.0's created means that it's far more acceptable to be different and accepted for our individuality. Later on in year 8, I got Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat. All these forms of social media allow me to portray my personal identity in different ways. Facebook is a simple way which conforms to the user's gratification theory, as I can easily show friends who I am by posting pictures of me as my profile picture and posting statuses that I personally believe have significance to my life. A current feature of Facebook at the moment is where Facebook highlights an event that happened on that day a certain amount of years before. By doing this and resharing the moments creates recognition for myself by my peers on Facebook, which is a feature of the user and gratification theory, portraying my personal identity. In terms of Instagram and Snapchat, this is a way that many people, including myself, use social media to express narcissistic aspects of my personality. For example, on Snapchat, I post the occasional 3-second video or picture of me with a filter on my face doing nothing but acting up to the camera. Then, on Instagram, I post various pictures of myself and others for it to be liked and commented on. In terms of the users and gratification theory, I possess characteristics portrayed by a very narcissist, which is the fact that I am most gratified by recognition and attention, as by posting these pictures allow me to gain recognition from people regarding how I look. These then tie into the esteem section of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, as by getting this recognition and attention means that my self-esteem and confidence increase, and in terms of my personal identity, it allows me to feel better in myself. Then in year 10, I created my first Twitter account. This was where I was able to share my own experiences, achievements, and accomplishments, which in turn helped me boost my confidence and gain respect from others, which therefore links into the esteem section of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Lastly, in year 11, age 16, I created a Tumblr account. After using Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat to help me reach the level of esteem on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, creating Tumblr allowed me to fully express the way I felt, as there was no need for me to be afraid, as it was a forum for everyone to do the same thing. Tumblr allowed me to share my own knowledge, interests, inner thoughts, and creativity for everyone else to see, and this relates to the self-actualization aspect of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the top level. Lastly, since primary school, I've always needed the online media to inform me about things, whether it was regarding schoolwork or just about the world in general. In primary school, I used the internet for research projects. The internet wasn't as developed as it is now, so in terms of Gauntlet's web theory, I was exposed to its 1.0 web theory, as I was only being distributed information from Google for things like research for my homework projects, like my project about Victorians in year 6, rather than me contributing any information to the internet myself. In terms of users and gratification theory, there are 3 main categories of gratifications, and this research taps into the content gratification, where uses for the internet include the need for researching or finding specific information or material, which are gratified with content. As I got to secondary school, the internet was way more advanced and was definitely primarily Web 2.0 in relation to Gauntlet's theory. Even though researching about things for my homework was still something I would do on a regular basis, I started using smartphones and social media, so I began to get informed in different ways other than just researching on the internet. When I got Facebook, I was being informed by things left, right and centre. I wasn't only being informed by things that I wanted to be informed by, but I was being informed about things due to other people liking things and it appearing on my Facebook page. This reflects on Gauntlet's Web 2.0 theory, as it wasn't just the internet alone which informed me about things. It was just the contribution of others and being able to post news articles and being able to share videos so everyone can see them. Instagram and Twitter is quite similar to the way that Facebook works in terms of being informed by things. Having the feature where you can post anything at any time means that people that I follow are contributing to the internet, which in turn makes them their own producer, which can influence and inform me and others about what they want, and the fact that they're their own producers relates to Gauntlet's 2.0 theory.